Okay. Oh, crap. I don't even have my lights on. Hold on. Where's that plug? Oh, there you go. Let there be light. So here you go. The best way to kill a fly is use Windex. I'm just telling you, okay? I busted out the Windex. That's what I'm using, and I will not use anything else ever unless it's on food. But still, it works so well. Just, fly lands, grab that bottle of Windex, make sure it works. You got a good psst first, and then just get nice and close, and a little psst, and that's it. They can't fly. Their wings are wet. They hit the ground, and you scoop them up. I just knocked out 3 flies in a matter of the last couple of days using Windex. There you go. There's my fact of death for you to start it off. Windex, I'm telling you. It's the way to go. July 28th, episode 58, 158 days left in the year. But it is day 207, so there's no 8 in that one. But there was all those 8, so I had to put it in that order. It's a water park today, Buffalo Soldier Day, and Milk Chocolate Day. I did not make it to a water park, but I felt like one leaving Lowe's. I thought I was going to die. Walking, the lightning was like, and I was like, seriously? I was like, come on. I'm walking in the rain here. I don't need to get killed by lightning. That's on the list of things that I don't want on my obit. Killed by lightning, hit by beer truck, death by misadventure. Remember, that is a thing. Death by misadventure. That's when people do stupid shit and die. Say that again. Windex what? Exactly. Kills the flies. That's how it works. Windex kills the flies. I'm telling you. Milk chocolate, I did have some today. So I did it's a 1.5 of that. The other's Buffalo Soldier Day. I can't be a Buffalo Soldier. I just can't do it. Tomorrow is Lipstick Day, Chicken Wing Day, and Lasagna Day. Now, I have somewhere, and I'm going to dig it out, the original Buffalo Wild Wings was in Columbus, Ohio, and I was there the very last night that the original was there. And my friend was bartending, so we had like 10-cent drinks. And I may have removed the back of one of the chairs that had the buffalo wing, like the etched into the back of it, like carved in the wooden chair. And I have it somewhere. I know I saved it. I did not throw that away. But I have that from the original buffalo wing of BW3. And BW3 used to be Wild Wings and Weck. And I never knew what Weck was. And I looked it up. I'm like, oh, that's why they didn't want to be called Wild Wings and Weck. No one wants Weck. That's why, because it's Weck is whack. That's the truth. And a lasagna day. I don't think I'll have lasagna tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a surprise. Maybe I'll have a chicken wing tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a surprise. It's Tuesday. Anything is possible. It really, really is. It's just been that way. They'll tell you about this. So nope, sorry, hit Fade to Black. Didn't mean to do that. Fade to Black is way too close to the... Put the pen down. I'll move a little slower. Anyway, I called the production company today to ask them, like, hey, so is Thursday the last episode? Is there going to be more? Are you going to have some bloopers reels? Blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I was told? Nothing. No one got back to me. I got no response. So I don't have any new information other than there's an episode on Thursday. I'm guessing it's the 9th and last episode of season 1. I don't know because no one tells me anything. I know it's in Chicago. I think it's the stop at corporate headquarters. But again, I know nothing. No one tells me a damn thing. So that's where it's at. Thursday, 8 o'clock. Tomorrow's Tuesday, so we'll talk about it tomorrow, Wednesday. I'll see if I can get some more information, but nothing. No info. All right, so all sorts of crazy things. I fell down the rabbit hole, and I say that word because. Rabbit hole. On this day, let's see, where's that? Sorry, I have a lot of things listed. Alice in Wonderland was released by Disney in 1951, The Rabbit Hole. Okay. Also, which is odd, I thought this was very interesting, that on this day was born Beatrix Potter in 1866, who wrote Peter Rabbit. Now, this where this all connects to the rabbit hole is, I was cutting the grass today at the station building. I have to do it once a week, and it was really, really blazing hot. And I was sweating, and I was doing it, and I was cutting to the thing, and I heard like the telltale like donk, and I'm like, oh, damn it. Oh, and I had sharpened the blade today because I had hit a curb last time I cut the grass. So I took the blade off and I took a grinder to it and made this thing razor sharp because it was bent and clunky from hitting a curb. Razor sharp. And I heard that telltale thud and I knew I hit something. And crap if two other bunnies didn't go running out from the bushes. So I didn't even look. I didn't want to. I just kept on going, cut the grass very carefully, shooed the bunnies back to the bush and left it at that. But yeah, I needed to share that because I needed to get that off my soul. Because my assumption is that, yes, I in fact wasted Peter Rabbit today, at least one of them. Yes, that was definitely death by misadventure, or that whatever it was, their misadventure for sure. But yeah, sorry, sorry to bring everyone down, but that's my story of mutilation. At least I'm better than the news. Okay, watched the news for about 12 seconds. I was like, nope, not doing this. Can't do it. All right, so 1828, Frankenstein. First time ever on stage. How is that? Interesting. I didn't realize it was, actually a stage production, but 1828 was the first production stage of ever of Frankenstein. 1932, the very first zombie movie ever, White Zombie with Bela Lugosi. I'm going to have to look that up and watch it. I don't think I've ever seen that. But White Zombie with Bela Lugosi, 1932. So that is the actual very first full-length zombie movie. So there you have that. I was like, interesting. Very interesting. In 1851, today was the White Zombie is pretty bad. Catacular. Yeah, I know. But Bella is so watch it anyway. I can't imagine that it's good. I mean, come on. It's a zombie movie from literally, it's 1932. I mean, I'm just saying. I can't imagine it's great. That's just what I'm saying. 1954, On the Waterfront was released, the movie, and it also won Best Picture, the Academy Award for Best Picture. The following year, 1955. 1851, first picture of a solar eclipse ever taken. 1858, first time the use of fingerprints were used for identification. That was in India. Who knew? And also in 1858 was the first aerial photograph ever taken. And that was taken from a balloon, a hot air balloon. I was like, interesting. 1866, the metric system becomes legal in the United States. And we still haven't adopted that, so I find that to be hilarious. It's legal, but nobody wants to use it because it's the metric system, for God's sakes. It's numbers of tens. I still have to convert when someone tells me something in centimeters and millimeters. I'm like, get my phone and I'm like, inches to centimeters to millimeters. Yeah, we're just not there. We just did not adopt. Not adopting for that one. 1896, Miami is incorporated as the city it is today. Good old Miami, man. Miami's crazy. I've been to Miami a couple times. Every time just was raucous and nuts. Just always crazy. I just saw a fly. Son of a bitch. I'll have to get the Windex. The most interesting story ever out of Miami was in the airport, believe it or not. And flew there to go to, I think it was a spring break, but flew to go to, I think, Fort Lauderdale and got rerouted. Something happened to the plane. We had to go to Miami. And when we got to Miami, because they had rerouted Fort Lauderdale there and something else, it felt to me, honestly, it was like the fall of Saigon. People getting onto these buses to get to wherever it was. It was nuts. There was like old people shoving, like, get on the plane. I mean, it was nuts. I literally stood back and was like in awe of the absolute craziness of it, and was almost afraid to like try and get into the melee. It was so crazy. I had never seen anything like that. Honestly, it looked like the things you see like in, in Japan, the trains, or like the trains in India. It was that epic, and not in a good way. I mean, it was just nuts. So yeah, I've always had weird, crazy experiences. But yeah, Miami, always wild, always wild. Anyway, I love this one. This one I loved so much. 1978, gold hits $200 for the first time in history. $200. Well, if you were an investor and you bought a lot of gold in 78, you got some bucks now, because that's now, $2,000 an ounce. It's kind of crazy. Who knew? 1995, Art Modell is in talks to move the Cleveland Browns to Baltimore. Secret talks, no less. But they found out. Art Modell, you bastard. 2018, the longest solar eclipse in the 21st century. It was the blood moon. I remember that eclipse. That was awesome. I think I was outside. I have a telescope. I watched it. Really cool. I definitely dig astronomical things that I can see. I've got a pretty cool telescope, so I'll go out in the yard and watch it. Or I'll drive out to like the middle of nowhere. That last solar eclipse, the one that we had that was the full one a couple of years ago, I drove out past Marysville, like just driving, just, making a beeline to get out there. And when we got out we just found this like, oh, there's a golf course. We just pulled over and there was some crazy golf course. And they were having a raging party going on. And we just got out of the car and just like looked up at the sky and, then it was like, boom, eclipse. And it was so cool the way it did it. We watched it kind of like, and everything went black. It got cold, and then you could see like this dome. There was like this dome of black, and it was just so cool. And then, of course, I looked at it because, why not? It's going to damage my eyes anyway, but it's a full solar eclipse. There was no little slivers to hurt your eyes, but I had to look at it. I was like, I must see it. So, yeah, I did that. I know, I'm a horrible human being for that one. 1957, Jerry Lee Lewis, first time on television on the Steve Allen Show. I guess it caused quite a commotion as well. Who knew? 1973, the Grateful Dead at Summer Jam in Watkins Glen, New York, along with the Allman Brothers and the band, recorded the largest crowd for a music festival. 600,000 people showed up for this festival, which is a pretty big number if you think about that. That's impressive. 600,000. I'm like, whoa, that's a big one. And in 1994, the last steel beam was placed in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I guess it was a big deal because they built it and it's very steel looking. So there you go. That was a good one. I like that. I've been to the Rock Hall a few times. I've told the story of me trying to get radio station stuff to the Rock Hall. It just never happened. It didn't happen. They didn't want it. And I was like, really? You don't want it for like Ohio thing? But no, denied. I got the denial. I used to leave security at Taco Bell when I had fights through there. Oh, right, yeah. I could see that. Right. I mean, whew, that'd be crazy. Do you know the Todd Browning, the scammer who directed Freaks? One of us. Oh, no, that's interesting. I did not. Very interesting indeed. Yeah, Bella's always good. Bella's always good. All right, so birthdays today. I thought it was interesting. I screwed up his name. I didn't write it clear enough. Anyway, something Belia, something Booth, co-founder of the Volunteers of America from England, of all places. But yeah, Volunteers of America, we did a lot of work with them back when we did radio station charity work. They were a good organization to work with. They always did good things to help the downtrodden. And they were one of those organizations that had a really high percentage rate too, meaning that their administrative costs were low and their donation percentage were really high. So hats off to Volunteers of America. They were always a good organization. I talked about the Beatrice Potter thing. Peter Rabbit. She was the author and illustrator, apparently. Sorry. Sorry, bunnies. Rudy Valley was born today in 1901, the earliest crooner, one of the early crooners. Also, he was the recipient of the first singing telegram. I had to read it a couple of times. I'm like, did he give the first singing telegram or he received it? And as far as I can tell, he received the first singing telegram, which made no sense to me. I still think they're confused because wouldn't he, as a crooner, have given the first singing telegram? Just saying. Seems confusing to me. Earl Tupper was born today in 1907. Earl Tupper. What do you think Earl Tupper invented? Yeah, so Tupperware. You wonder where those crazy names from? Yeah, it was a dude. His name was Earl Tupper, so he invented Tupperware. I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. You know, you have to think about Tupperware, but where did that come from? Yeah, there was a dude named Tupper, and he actually invented Tupperware. Yeah, I don't know. I've tried the Historical Society, but they didn't say anything either. I'll try them again. You know, where's the lid exactly? But that's so funny. Tupperware is a dude. I guess that's true. Also born today, 1929, Jackie O. Jackie Onassis, Jackie O Beer, Jackie O, the O-Star. 1945, Jim Davis, the guy who gave us Garfield. Yeah, I'm not impressed. I wasn't a Garfield fan. Still not. I'm just not a cat guy, I guess. Just saying. 1947, Sally Struthers. Please help the children. She was in All in the Family, and I don't know if you remember, she worked for like Save the Children later on, or Feed or something. And man, she looks like she ate all the food. Not to decry people that are overweight or anything, but it just, you know, it just was that she just seemed to be this very ironic spokesperson, you know, going and showing these poor starving children, you know, that are literally skin and bones, and she's just looking like she's hanging out in the chow line way too many times. Sorry, I went there. Stu Marge of Deep Purple from Hamilton, Ohio. There was somebody else that was from Steubenville, Ohio. I didn't bother to put their name down. I was like, Steubenville. No, yeah, it was some musical act that I really wasn't impressed with. Sorry. Uncle Michael Hitchcock, Best in Show. Where's the fucking Busy Bee? Give me the fucking Busy Bee. With Parker Posey and their crazy dog, the Weimaraner. That's such a funny scene. I always love that. That's a movie I can watch multiple times. I can definitely watch that again and be like, yeah, it's funny. It's one of those movies. And Hannah Wagenham, I guess that's how I'm going to say it, from Ted Lasso, Rebecca. And I guess they're going to have a season 7. They just announced that like not even a week ago. There's going to be a 4th season of Ted Lasso. And I guess Goldstein's going to return. Wagenton's going to return. So we'll have season 4 of Ted Lasso. So I thought that would be interesting. I like Ted Lasso. That was a good one. I didn't see it when it first came out. It was a binge. But I enjoyed it. Ted Lasso was good. Speaking of Jerry Lewis, right? Dean Martin's from Steubenville. That's correct. But yeah, I like Ted Lasso. It was good. On the death list today, Cyrano de Bergerac. He was a real dude. You know, the whole Cyrano de Bergerac thing. Yeah, today was the day he died. Now, I found this to be interesting because, you know, you don't think about this, but Antonio Vivaldi, today's the day that he passed away, from the Four Seasons, the writer of the Four Seasons, Vivaldi. When we would go to Lollapalooza, in the morning, we would get there early and the field would be empty, the gates aren't open yet, and they would crank up the speakers to full volume on all the stages, and they would play the theme from Star Wars. And I always found that to be funny. I have a video of it, you know, sitting there doing like this 360, swirling around, looking at the emptiness of it while this Star Wars blares. Da, 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 da. But they did it every morning, and they did it every year. the reason I bring that up is because that's what I would play Vivaldi, the Four Seasons, every time we would do a festival, and we would get there early when I would have the trucks there with speakers on the top. So at ComFest or Arts Fest or anything, that's how I would greet the day, with Vivaldi's Four Seasons. So I just thought that was an interesting fact about Vivaldi. But it's also interesting because also on this day, Johann Sebastian Bach died, which I was like, interesting. So we lost all sorts of classical music aficionados on this day, those two. Now, again, things named after people that you don't think about. Charles William Mayo died today. It was also his birthday today. He died on his 70th birthday. Can you guess who Charles William Mayo's got things named for him? I'll give you a hint. It's a clinic. So, yeah, the Mayo Clinic, because there's a dude named Mayo, which I thought was funny. Joseph Dusty Hill of ZZ Top passed away today, on this date anyway. And then the last but not least, just one more thing. But wait, there's more. Ron Popeil, TV pitchman, the pocket fisherman, and other sundry items that you will have. No, not mayonnaise. That was funny. But yes, Ron Popeil. But wait, there's more. The original pitchman for TV crap. The stuff that you find on TV that you just don't want to buy, but you're forced to because you're like, oh my God, I have to have that. I have to have the pocket fisherman. Who doesn't want a fishing rod that's this big that he can just cast it? It works so great because he makes it look so wonderful. He was the precursor to QVC and every other pitch hype TV man that ever existed. Ron Popeil. Man, that guy. What can you do, right? You still have a pocket fisherman? Thank you. Thank you for having a pocket fisherman. I remember someone that had a pocket fisherman, and I did try a pocket fisherman once. It worked fine. It just was kind of funny. I was moving crap around when I was cleaning yesterday, and I have a couple of collapsible fishing rods. They're only about this big. And I made a mess. The line fell off the reel. The reel went everywhere, and there was fishing line. At some point, I just got frustrated and was like, and just started wrapping it back up around the pole and the reel and everything, and threw it back in the corner where it was, and said, you know what? No, not today. Just not doing that today. Not happening. Okay, that was my entire list of stuff. There it is. There's all my list of things. Again, because I'm better than the news. I'm definitely better than the news today. I just, I kind of try not to fall into the Twitter rabbit hole just because I just have to watch that cesspool of stuff. And then the CNN and New York Times are just like, good Lord, everything is on fire and everything's burning. So that's, I just won't do it. I can't. I refuse. I have my own cesspool of life to live at the moment. So that's where that's at. You got too fish with it. I was hoping everybody's to replica at the new airport because that was always the guys playing there. Could be an awesome to play. I would be nice too. That would be great. It's funny. I ran to someone at the Fire Foods Festival this weekend that came down. That was a fan of the station. Her and her husband, very nice, super nice couple. And they were just like, oh, we're so sad. I'm like, I am too. She's like, you must hear that a lot. I was like, yeah, that's the number one thing I hear from people that say that to me. And so my pat answer is, yes, I am too. I said, because I can't really make any comment on it more than, yeah, that's what it is. Because yeah, it's, I'm still living it. I'm not out of it yet. I still have this building that I cannot sell. That is creating a problem for me, to be perfectly honest. The gas was turned off today, so there will be no hot water if you come down. If you come down for the yard sale, there will be no hot water. There may not be any water. I don't know. But yeah, so no, I still get to live it every day, and it's not great. There was a post I saw someone that says, we miss you, come back. And I was like, yeah, got it. But yeah, the likelihood of that ever happening is really low. For multiple reasons. The magic was the people, and they've scattered to the four corners in the wind. The equipment, I'd have to reinvent the equipment that, it's expensive and I don't have much of it anymore. A lot of it, but it's all disassembled and it would take a Herculean task to reassemble it. And then the license. I mean, that's the big thing. That was the whole reason that it didn't continue, is because of the licensing issue. They're expensive and they don't come around all the time. They're hard to find. They're hard to get. The 101 sold for like 5.8 million. The 1025 sold for a few $1 million. The 929, well, that's an entirely different story. We won't go there. But yeah, it's it is what it is. So yeah, I don't really have the idea of me keeping it somewhere. I don't know what I'll do. When the building sells, hopefully here, I'll find out in August, and then it'll be within 90 days after that. So before the end of the year, before the 158 days remaining in this year, hopefully it will be gone. And then there won't be a place for that stuff. So the stuff will be in people's basements and their houses, maybe some in storage, but a lot of it's going to wind up, if people don't take it, it's going to wind up, in the garbage, to be honest. I won't be able to store all of it. So yeah, I mean, at some point it's going to be a bargain basement. People are just like, take it. I don't, I'm going to take something to Thurman. I'm going to give them something to put on the wall. I'm going to give them either one of the original T-shirts or a gold record. And I'm trying to find some iconic places that would have it, that they would be around for a while. That's something, like I've tried to do, is think about places that hopefully will have longevity, that would take some of the memorabilia and be able to display it. Like a Max and Irma's. Oh wait, they're gone. Or the Spaghetti Warehouse. Oh no, wait, they're gone. That's I don't know. I'll see. We'll see. We'll all see collectively, because that's what's going to wind up happening. Because I don't really have an answer for that one. That's just the way it is. It's this slow motion train wreck that has been now 18 months, and it is still occurring every day. Cutting the grass down there sucks. I hate doing it. I won't lie. This having to go into that building and just look at the disaster that it is. You think my basement is crazy? You think this is nuts? You should see what that building looks like now. Jesus. It is an absolute just whirlwind, just a crap ton of stuff everywhere. So yeah, if you're ever so inclined, I'll do a clean out day and you can come down and help me clean stuff and throw things away. Because otherwise, if the building gets demoed, a lot of it's just going to go. Chairs and stuff, I'm just going to leave behind. I don't have anything to do with them. It's like, need a desk chair? Take it. It's all yours. I can tell you who sat in it. Damn it. See, that's this. I was looking right at the camera and I was looking for the timer because it happened somewhere around the 20-minute mark. No, it didn't happen. I don't understand exactly what's going on. I can't win with this one. And I've tried to change the settings. I do not know where to change the settings. I can't figure it out. Damn it. Again, a not unperfect evening. There's always some pilot error involved. I have not gotten away with that yet. I did clean up the fudge graham cracker from last night, and I did not find any ants. I did use the Windex. Windex is sort of my cure-all for everything. Kill a fly? Windex. Chocolate fudge and cookie on the floor? Windex. Why not? It's got all the best, baddest, and greatest ingredients in it. Poison ivy? Windex. Actually, I used gasoline to kill some poison ivy because it was insidiously growing. And I was like, no. I do not want poison ivy. I will scorched earth everything near it. I don't care. I just don't need this to grow. We've talked about poison ivy. And I have never found the picture, but I know my dad took those pictures when I was a kid. He took slides. And yes, there is a horrible picture of me. Just blisters on my fingers where they were literally connected. That's just Because again, going to the doctor was not an option when I was a kid. You know, the whole dislocating the shoulder, scar in the head, broken nose. Yeah, you know, that was not my thing. Rub a little dirt in it, Johnny, you'll be fine. So that was my upbringing. Always fun. I'm thinking that I was talking to a friend from home in New Jersey, and that I've known for a long, long time. Talked about the beach and the shore. I'm thinking I need to get to the shore before the summer ends just to go see my mom. My mom's still alive. She's 93. Still lives alone, if you can believe that. I mean, crazy. She goes out more than I do. The woman is so overscheduled, it's not even funny. She goes to her exercise class, and then she goes to her, library, still volunteers at the library. She was a librarian for like 50 years, so still volunteers. Then she is going out to lunch with her garden club people, and I'm just like, damn, the lady just keeps on going. But I guess that's the way to do it, you know. If we stop, we don't start again. So you just have to keep moving. That's sort of, I think, the lesson for everybody. You just got to keep going, push through it, make it happen. Don't stop. Whatever it is, just keep pushing. Keep fighting, keep happening. So, you know, our health plan growing up was don't get sick. Right. That's it. I am making sure I'm not. Like I said, my business partner has the flu, like the flu, influenza B. And again, I'm like, where the hell did you get this from in the summer? I don't want this. I'm like, stay back, please. So yeah, if I do get sick, I will do this from my deathbed, but I will be not happy about doing it from my deathbed. I do not want the flu. Absolutely freaking not. I can't even tell you the last time I had the flu. Well, I mean, I know when I had COVID because that kicked my ass, and that's a flu. But yeah, no, don't want the flu. I do remember the last time I had the flu, and that was a absolutely miserable sick. High fever, you know, just not a good thing. You know, laying on the bathroom floor, cold tile against my face, like, this is not good. So, not a fan. So I'm going to avoid that at all costs if I could. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Alice in Wonderland released. I watched Alice the other night. Part of it. The new one. I guess that it's a few years old, the latest one. I guess it's just called Alice, maybe. It was pretty good. It was good. It was fine for the bits I caught. I think I caught the middle somewhere. And toward the end where she killed the Jabberwocky. But yeah, because again, I fell asleep on the couch. I woke up this morning at 4:30 in the morning on the couch. I don't even know when I started watching last night. I have no idea. I think I went upstairs from here, sat on the couch, and literally woke up at like 4:30. I don't remember watching anything last night. So I have no idea. I'm just passing out, not even sleeping at this point. So I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, ladies and gentlemen. There are new movies. Love the Disney classics. Yes. But that wasn't the Disney classic. But yeah, so Alice in Wonderland released today. I'll have to find that one. But I might have to watch White Zombie just because. Even though it's going to be crappy, it's Bela Lugosi. But as Don said, Lugosi's Dracula from 1931 is still awesome. Yes, that's true. I do remember watching that, and I have seen that one before. And that one's definitely worth watching. But yeah, White Zombie's pretty bad. Is it as bad as Plan 9 from Outer Space, though? That's the question, as ranked of one of the worst movies ever made by Ed Wood. Just saying. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch them back to back. Maybe I'll fall asleep and not watch either of them. I couldn't tell you. Either way. Just couldn't tell you either way. So the Ohio State Fair is happening. I talked about that yesterday. So I am going to make it to the fair. I was thinking I would go ride rides and videotape the rides and maybe interview the carnies. Interview the carnies and ask them, like, say, oh, well, where, how long have you been doing this? Where are you from? What's your formal training? Did you come up doing this? Do you go to other fairs? Is this? I'm curious to know some of these questions. So I think I'm going to ask them of the carnies, but I will go to the fair. It's like $25. I didn't realize that. See, here's one of those things again. I never, ever paid to go to the fair because I always had comp tickets because we'd have concerts that we'd be promoting or whatever for the station for, since I've been doing this. So 35 years. But I was like, wait, it's how much? I was kind of blown away. There's a picture somewhere. I have a couple of pictures from the fair. One of them is me and Ziggy Marley when he did the fair. I remember that years ago. That was that was a real long time ago. I'm not sure if that was 94 maybe. But anyway, I clearly remember taking a picture with him because he was sort of like, whatever, man. When he pulled up in the car, when the door opened up, it was exactly as you could imagine a Ziggy Marley car would be. It was billowing out of the doors, billowing, just like this wafting haze of just billowing the smoke. And, kind of came over and said hello to him. And like, how you doing? And the picture of him, I'm all smiling and he's just like straight face, like not impressed at all. Didn't care. And then there's a picture somewhere with Midnight Oil. Great band. They played the fair forever ago. And Weezer as well. Weezer played the fair. I mean, occasionally they had some good acts that would go there and then some crazy ones as well. But yeah, promoted lots of shows at the fair over the years. And, always ride the rides. The crazy ass rides that you think you're going to die on because, I don't know, someone did years later, because I'm sure their safety checks are top notch. I think that's what I mean on the fair, Yes, nothing as bad as planned not. Exactly. And, but Alice Cooper, yes, right. So a bunch of bands have played the fair over the years. Yeah, Midnight Oil was one of those ones that I saw, and that was way back. I have a T-shirt because it used to be also that we would purloin T-shirts from bands and put our logos on them. So this was, again, the record companies weren't as litigious. So we were able to take like the band's names and put them on T-shirts and give them away. As long as we weren't making money, they didn't really care. Then it got to the point where we couldn't do that. But like I think Live might have played there. And again, we got Live Mental Julie shirts and put our logo on the shirt and then gave them away. But I know we did. There was a Midnight Oil shirt somewhere because they play with more than one band. But yeah, that's again, we used to have all sorts of shirt things to do. I have shirts everywhere from every shirt we've ever made for the radio station back from the very first shirt in the anniversary coming up August 21st of 1990. So that will be here before you know it. So the 35th anniversary is happening in about, I don't know, 4 weeks? And wait, did I say the 21st? Oh, right. And that is a Thursday. And the 21st is the day that I see if I can appear before the city for the last time. How ironic is that? Yes. I will explain that entire story one of these days. I've given you many hints about it at this point, but I don't want to say ill of it because, again, someone will write a letter. Someone will find this and write a letter and say I did something or said something, and who knows what. Right. It's the way that goes. I don't know. Hard to tell sometimes. All right, I'm going to depart because I don't want to bore you with nothing, and I have nothing that I can impart to you of wisdom besides kill flies with Windex. Watch this on Thursday at 8 p.m. because it may be the last new episode. Because if they don't renew a season 2, then this will be the last new episode of Day Trippin' by Heinz Verified with Stephen He and his co-star, me. Sadly enough. It'll give me one less thing to talk about. But that doesn't mean that I won't talk about it still, because why not? I am trying to get the IMDb thing. That was something I was going to talk to the production company about today as well. But again, they didn't get back to me, so I have no idea what's going on. No clue. But that's all right. I'm just the co-star. I love saying that, being, that I was the driver and got roped into this at the last minute. Hey, do you want to be in this too? I'm like, sure, why not? You know, what's my my post-it note say? Come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs. Yes, that would be exactly what it was. I went out to the coast. I got together. I had a few laughs. And I literally did. I went to San Francisco and went to the coast. So, close enough. I didn't go into a small space, though. I did watch something. There was some, I don't know, I fell down some rabbit hole. Was it YouTube or... anyway, it was some dude who was caving. And I watched it for a couple minutes. I'm like, no, I can't do this. No. You know, because he was, talking about, he had a rock with him in case his knuckles got stuck. I was like, no, man. I was like, nah, you can't do that. That just freaks me out. It just gives me the willies, those confined spaces like that. I mean, I'm not claustrophobic. I can be in an elevator fine. But yeah, I don't know. If you're like in a cave setting in the, you're, no. For a very short distance, yeah, but no. That's not me, man. Not that thing, We'll go pitch it to Wobers. I could do that. Cheers from Boston. Woo! Love you, Boston. Keep flying straight there, Neon. One of these days, I'll be on a plane. It'll be you. You'll be like, I know you. You'll be like, I don't know you. I'm Neon. You'll be like, hey. That'll be genius. I'll be like, can I get wings? I really want those little wings. I want my plastic wings, damn it. Anyway, all right, I'm going to depart. I appreciate you all. Thank you so very much, as always. It is my great pleasure. Wait, my phone's buzzing. So usually that means something from somebody. Hold on. Is that somebody texting me? That's of importance. Let's see. It is, Don Holiday. Come out to the coast. We'll get it left. Exactly. He sent me the meme of Bruce Willis in the duct saying that famous line. But apparently Bruce Willis is not doing so well, so sad about Bruce Willis. He was definitely... I liked him in almost every one of his roles, as opposed to my Tom Cruise, where, not a fan. Just for some reason, just can't do it. Mission Impossible stuff's okay, but yeah, just the Top Gun stuff, and I don't know. I just never did. But yes, him, and in we talked the other day, and I knew it as less. Yeah. Anyway, Dolly not doing well either. Oh no! See, I'm not watching the news. That's not great. Oh well. I took the Lord. Thank you. I'll see you all again tomorrow, and we'll do this completely differently, or not. Oh, wait. I have to say the words, don't I? I can't just push the button. I actually have to say the words. So we'll get rid of this first. So that's not there. I lost a nail. I don't know what happened to it. I came down and the license plate was dangling, so I have no idea where the nail went to. I'll get it fixed. I'm going to move the table. So I am going to give myself a little more room, I decided, no matter what. Even if that means I have to change the angle of the camera and I have to turn more this way, I've got to move it because I'm hitting my toes and I keep bumping this stupid Death Star. Fade to black. Where's the button? Button. Oh, I should move that. Okay. End stream. Good night.